Okay, let's see if this is working. Okay, one by one, all of these things should be going live. Never really done this before. I'm using Restream. See that all 5 of them go live. We're on Facebook Live, we're on Periscope, trying to connect to LinkedIn, YouTube, and believe it or not, Twitch. So I just want to see that this actually works. Bear with me, anyone who's already seeing me, if you don't mind, as the other ones hopefully connect. Let me just see that it's actually working, which would be cool if so, because that means I figured it out. Yay. Hold on, everyone. Oh, look at that. I am live. How about that? Okay, great. Hi, everybody. Let's just make sure. I think on LinkedIn as well. Yeah, nice. Okay, so bear with me, everyone. Beautiful. One by one, it's all going live. Very nice. All right. Hi, everybody. Robbie Straczynski here. If you can see me, hear me, if you're interested in hearing what I have to say at all, if you have any questions, whatever it may be, you just want to say hello, you miss me, whatever it might be, say hi in the chat. This is my first time using Restream. I don't know where you're seeing me, which platform, so I want to make sure I catch you on the right platform, that I'm managing it all correctly. Let's just see. Anyone feel free just to say hi, just to test it with me, if you don't mind. Let's see. Aha, okay, cool, that's interesting. Nice. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about poker stuff. I can see some Twitch people are there, I see some Facebook people are there. Don't know who you are yet unless you check in, but it would be nice to get, basically I want to, I'm lonely. I'm sure we all are, anyone who's at home who is under quarantine. I'm not under quarantine. I'm fine and healthy, thankfully. Thank God. Anyone who's under, just wants to connect with people, just, wants to talk a little bit, wants to hear any sorts of opinions, things that I have to say about poker. I have a lot of them. I don't usually share them too publicly unless I'm incredibly passionate about them. But I'd like to, if prompted to. If you guys have any questions about perhaps controversial issues about WSOP, gotta go that way, WSOP being held, about anything, basically. Anyone, if you want some hot takes. This is sort of an experimental stream. I don't really have too much of a plan for it beyond hopefully seeing if people actually take a look at it. Because hopefully I will have a plan for the future, the very near future, within the coming week or so, to do this again properly. Chris, okay, great. Will WSOP, good. So I'm happy that the chat is working. Yes. Okay. So I don't really understand your question though, Chris. Will WSOP what? What's the question? Will they cancel? I don't think so. I really don't think so. And I do hope that, the numbers grow, because I want lots of people to hear what I have to say about this one. I don't think that they're going to cancel in light of the coronavirus. It's too early. This is a series that's supposed to begin right at the end of May. That is 10 weeks away, 11 weeks away. Will it occur? Right, exactly. Will it occur? I do think so. It may not be what we're used to. There's a lot of things that we have to get used to these days. A new reality, a new way of living. That's the, here in Israel, we got Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He's like, we got to get used to living in a new type of reality. So the World Series of Poker, I do think it'll occur, but perhaps a little bit, it would be great if it's the same. It would be wonderful. If the storm blows over and everything is back to normal, there's going to be tremendous pent-up demand to play live poker. People are just going to get out there, gamble it up, mix it up, and there's people just going to want to play. It would be great. That's the ideal scenario. But I do think, at the end of the day, it is up to them, not cancel culture or people who are saying, oh, you gotta cancel it. People, you just gotta be socially responsible. Yes, you do. You do, for today, for tomorrow, for the next week, for the next 3 weeks, the next 4 weeks even. You really do. And it is the right thing to do, that all of these poker rooms, all these casinos are closing, that all of the festivals are saying, no, we're postponing, we're canceling. That is the socially and medically and humanely responsible thing to do. I'm glad to see it. It's unfortunate. It stinks that these sorts of things are being canceled. As for the WSOP, there's a lot of factors at play. It's a 6-week-long festival. Okay, not happening. 6 weeks, a month and a half off the calendar. Who would say that about anything? If it's like a one-off event on one day, okay, fine, you can go ahead and make a decision. This is a 6-week-long event. To go ahead and black and white say it's canceled or it's going on as planned is a wrong decision to make right now. The right decision is to wait a little bit, because if they make the announcement today or tomorrow or a week from now or 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks or 4 weeks from now, and I'm not over-dramatizing it, I really don't think there's too big, again, I don't work for the WSOP, but I don't think that there's too big of a practical difference whether a decision is made one way or another at any point within the next month. I mean, I live 7,500 miles away. I go there to do media coverage. I go there to work during the main event, which is even further along, not the beginning of June, rather the first 2 weeks of July. Sure, I've got a lot riding on the WSOP happening. Industry people certainly do, freelancers, live reporters, anyone who works for any sort of poker media outlet, all of the dealers, the floor staff, the chip runners, I mean, you name it. They got a ton riding on it. It's still a little too early. You know what I mean? Like we don't want to see it canceled, but that that not wanting to is not going to be governing our decision. It's the medical and the humane aspects of, okay, is the coast clear? Can we run it? But that's not a decision to be made now. I really don't think so. That's a decision that needs to be made, as the information comes in, and we're not the ones who make it. That's also the most important thing. It's not the players. It's not the people who benefit from it. It's not the people who work there. It's the actual WSOP officials. They're the ones who make the decision. And it's not like they're just, twiddling their thumbs all day and, oh, should we cancel? Maybe should we? They have got their fingers on the pulse of this. And they've also got like circuit events to be concerned about running right now and making decisions about. WSOP is still far away. So yeah, that's first of all. It's not necessarily black and white, and it doesn't have to be made, a decision does not have to be made at this exact moment. So that's first of all. Also, so there's a lot of gray area here. What's this? Please restart to apply the, oh, I see. Got it. Nice. Cool. Interesting. Interesting restream features. What was I saying? Right. 6-week-long event. There are, 90 bracelet events this summer that are supposed to be held over 6 weeks? Maybe they just go ahead and say, we're going to start 2 weeks later. We're going to start in the middle of June, and it'll be however many, 75 or 65 events. It's not a valid decision. It's a very valid decision. That's equally as responsible, assuming that all of the medical factors and, health guidelines are taken into account. Very responsible decision to be made. WSOPC New Orleans, NOLA, right? I don't know. You have to give me the calendar dates, but basically the same thing applies. At the end of the day, it's about, there's two people who can make decisions. One is those who are running the event, and one is those well outside the poker sphere. Those are health officials or city officials. They can go ahead and close down a venue, and then there's nothing that the WSOP can do about that. If, in the summer, Nevada State Gaming Commission or health officials or whatever the official body is called makes a decision, says, okay, we're got to shut down the Rio, got to shut down the Strip, no gatherings of more than 100 people, or whatever it is, that obviously supersedes any decision about than any event runners could go ahead and make. Early May, that's a good question. That's 6 weeks away. I'm not 100% sure. It's a very good question, because there's a lot of people who want to play lots of different events, whether they're in Europe or different places in the States. I certainly don't think, in terms of the pandemic, the COVID-19, the coronavirus, we're anywhere near peak numbers, for lack of a better term, in the United States. It's literally changing hour by hour. We're all refreshing, we're always like, oh no, another headline. This is like a media frenzy. They thrive on, I don't want to say panic, but they thrive on big headlines, and people are like, hey, what's the next thing? What's the next thing that's going to happen? With every organization that is running an event, they need to be on the ball. And, I don't know exactly, I've never run events before, so I don't know all of the factors that go into it. Obviously, lots of scheduling, coordinating with the venue that it's happening at, all of the advertising parts of it, having enough dealers on site, enough floor staff, all of the different components that we sort of, as players, take for granted that are going to be in place during an event for it to happen. All of that needs to be coordinated, and that is a massive job. It's a massive logistical undertaking that these organizations, these companies that run live poker events, they always deal with all the time. So you can almost ask, okay, let's clear the carte blanche. Let's say for right now, I decide, okay, let's go ahead and have some sort of an event. How much lead time do you need to set it up? Let's say from today, I decided a brand new event. I want to hold it in a particular venue. What are all the components that need to be put in place? How long would that take at the bare minimum to run a good event? It depends on the scale of the event, how many people you're expecting. And that's why, World Series of Poker circuit in New Orleans, for example, totally different can of worms than the World Series of Poker, which is obviously the peak, the pinnacle of the poker year, where tens of thousands of people are swarming the halls every single day at the Rio in Las Vegas. So I don't know the answer to that one. I know as for the World Series of Poker, other solutions could be, besides, let's say, okay, we're only going to start it, June 14th or 15th or whatever it is. We'll shorten the World Series. It won't be 6 weeks long. It'll be 4 weeks long. Or they can say, okay, we're going to start at June 14th and just sort of like push everything 2 weeks later. And instead of the main event running from July 1st, whatever, till the 14th, 16th, something like that, that'll also just start 2 weeks later. Now that's, a little bit more complicated to start moving things forward, because there are TV issues and rights and broadcasting stuff with ESPN, ESPN2, PokerGo. There's contracts to honor. Again, not that I know the details of any of these contracts, but I know that there are contracts. Again, we sort of take for granted that all this stuff is in place, and they were very kind to us, the World Series of Poker. They piecemeal. They every little snippet of news, another 5 events, another 8 events, another 9 events. Now everything's really all set. And, had there not been any sort of pandemic around the world, everything would be proceeding as planned, et cetera. But at this point, there's a lot of question marks. So, yeah, like we said, we could shorten it. We could postpone it. Maybe we wouldn't even have it over the summer at all. Maybe it's just going to be too dangerous. Still, too many question marks, or some areas may be safe, but when you have people coming in from all over the world, which, the pandemic is not yet settled down, things are not yet under control, maybe it's not so simple to have, an international type of an event like that just yet. Maybe it's going to be postponed till September, October. Who knows? I would bet a lot of money that there will be a World Series of Poker this year in some way, shape, or form. Another way of doing it is online. Am I in favor of such a thing? No. Is the World Series in favor of such a thing? Probably not. What does that mean online? They've got WSOP.com, which you can play if you're in Nevada or Delaware or in New Jersey, and that's it. Don't tell me that the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people who are swarming the halls of the Rio are going to be flying to, Nevada or Delaware or New Jersey specifically to play in online bracelet events. There are going to be some, but nowhere near those sorts of numbers. And it's, if that ends up having to be the case for the health reasons, then okay, it's kind of like Pyrrhic victory. I don't even know what you want to call it. It's like, okay, well, they had a World Series, maybe bracelets were awarded, but it's not the same. It's not, it doesn't translate well to be broadcast or to be followed, when you have people reporting on online event coverage. I mean, it's there, it's important, it's good, and there's certainly the more hardcore fans who are following those sorts of things. Run Forest Run. Hey, welcome. Thank you very much for watching. Who wants to touch poker chips? Right now, not a lot of people. That's a very good question. I saw an article, I think KevMath, at KevMath on Twitter. Kevin Mather's a great guy. He shared it, I believe it's from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, that there is a company which is specializing in cleaning poker chips and equipment specifically. And their business is booming. Duh, right? Which isn't interesting. At this point, it's kind of like putting a Band-Aid on like a shark biting off your leg. You know what I mean? It's at this point, because the moment you clean it, then people go ahead and touch the chips, and immediately there's all those germs being transmitted again, and you just never know. Now, I'm not saying it's not important to clean poker chips. You should. And I do think that in general, the fact that more casinos are paying attention to their cleanliness, I think is a very good thing. I think that hopefully, if we all keep the pressure on in a very good way, that casinos, poker rooms all over the world will say, hey, our customers really do prefer a little bit more cleanliness. They prefer the chips to be clean. Once a month, maybe we can go ahead, and it's expensive, sure, but that's what the people want. That's what you got to give them. They would rather play in a casino, in a poker room establishment that has clean chips, far fewer germs and parasites and whatever that bacteria on them, and the dirt and the grime, than lots of that type of stuff on each chip. Who wants to touch poker chips? Right now, nobody. Right now, again, we're, maybe we're not even in the eye of the storm just yet, but we're certainly approaching it. All the rooms closing down, good. When you reopen, I really, really hope that the first thing you guys do or will have done during this interim period is get your poker chips clean. That's what people want. So from this little mini stream, however long this lasts right now, if I can implore, or you guys, anyone who's watching, can implore poker rooms to take this opportunity and clean their entire cache of poker chips, cache, C-A-C-H-E, that's a good thing. Make that happen, and the poker rooms that do so regularly perhaps should be given more business. You know what I mean? So, Run Forest Run, thank you, appreciate it. Good comment, good question. And World Series of Poker, I'd love to go, and we can't be mowing the what ifs or whatever. We can basically trust our health officials in the state of Nevada and the county, Clark County, Nevada, to do the right thing and only clear it once there is no danger to the virus being spread like it is currently. We have to trust the officials at the World Series of Poker to be making the right decision whenever they do make it, and now's not the right time to make that decision. Just say it again, and I know I'm repeating myself, but we live in a microwave society. We expect instant results right now. We want to know. And who's cheering when we say World Series of Poker is canceled? Who's cheering? Who's happy about that? We'll be very happy that we don't want any germ spread. We don't want public danger to society or anything like that. But why rush to make the decision? Again, if they go ahead and make the announcement in a month that it is canceled or postponed or curtailed or whatever, we'll be just as unhappy. But their silence on the matter right now, I think, is the best course of action. And I think we just got to trust them. If you're just tuning in, Robbie Straczynski here. I'm the owner of cardplayerlifestyle.com. Here, let's put that to the camera. That's my website, cardplayerlifestyle.com. If you're not familiar with my website, go visit it online. We publish lots and lots and lots of poker content. And like I'm the owner of the site, been running it for over 10 years. If you are familiar with my site, let me know in the chat what your favorite articles are as of late. Maybe you like my recent op-ed about the coronavirus and 10 ways to ensure poker positivity. I did that one. We had a great article today about the great 2020 poker. Matty Trebek. What's up, buddy? Yay. Hey, Matt Hansen, good guy. We had a great article today, the Great Poker Tipping Survey of 2020. Earl Burton, very nice guy. He went ahead and put that together from all the different, so many people had opinions about tipping, and they wanted to share them. We asked a battery of questions to dozens of people, dealers, floor staff, Matt Savage, legendary tournament director, just won the Global Poker Award as the best tournament director. We got professional players, recreational players, all chiming in on their tipping customs and stuff. Great article. Check it out. It's the latest article published on cardplayerlifestyle.com. Again, I'm the owner, Robbie Straczynski. I live in Israel, far away. It is 10 minutes to 11 p.m. right now. Shout out again to Matt Hansen on WSOP.com right now. Bump in the numbers this weekend. No kidding. You don't say, Matt. So Matt lives in Las Vegas. Best website in poker. Yori, I won't tell him who you work for. You're very sweet. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yori Epscam, great guy. We did an interview with him, Get to Know the Poker Media. Yori, go ahead and put a link. I don't know if you're allowed to, but you can go put a link in the chat. That's the great interview we did with you. He's head of live reporting for Poker News Global. Really wonderful guy. You can catch him running somewhere in the Netherlands or playing mixed games. He's a good guy. So yeah, WSOP.com, bump in numbers this weekend. No kidding. A lot of people, again, there is a base desire among poker players to just play. We just want to play the game. I just finished a home game. I'm driving home and I wish I could still be playing. I want to play the next day. We all know that feeling. We all want to play, right? Why wouldn't we? So if we can't play live, how do we figure out another? We play on whatever online site is available to us. I am a big proponent of legalized, regulated online poker. You can find that in the United States in Nevada, New Jersey, Delaware, and Pennsylvania now. There are other sites that run unregulated and people who are desperate enough, and I understand that sort of desperation because you can't play online from here in Israel, not for real money. I get it. They'll go ahead and play on unregulated sites, and whatever. That's their risk. What's that? Caveat emptor is the phrase, right? Go ahead if you want to go ahead and do that. But on WSOP.com, no surprise that there is a bump in traffic. There are those who, all the poker rooms left and right, they're closing in Las Vegas. I suppose some of them remain open, which is a real shame. Still no one at the 5-cent, 10-cent stud table. Matt, believe me, if I was in Las Vegas right now, I probably wouldn't be streaming this now. I maybe would be streaming my play because I'm not in Las Vegas. I can't play on WSOP.com. But yeah, I'd love to play at the 5-cent, 10-cent stud tables. Why not? Who doesn't love that sort of thing? Yeah. So, Yori, any questions for the best website in poker? Do you guys have any questions about my website, about me? My lifestyle as an Orthodox Jew here in Israel. Sometimes I open up about that. I'm happy to answer that sort of stuff, about the Sabbath, about my family life, kids, about any interviews I've done over the years with some of the greatest names in the game. Any stories you'd like me to tell about my own poker play or things that I've seen, seen or witnessed as part of the Poker Media Corps. Happy to tell the stories. Yeah, really happy to talk to you guys, happy to engage. If you just want to say hello, that's fine. If you don't like any of the content that I put out there, whether it's been written by me or my wonderful contributors, shout out to all of them. If anyone got, yeah, then go ahead and say so. If anyone got coronavirus, I got it. Probably I'm a lab tester, and I bet that hazmat suit doesn't help. I don't know what a lab tester is. Maybe it's just my naivete, but, oh, a lab tester, perhaps? I hope you didn't get it, Lucas, and if you did get it, then I hope you are in quarantine and making sure others don't get it. It is important. You know, we're kind of, you know, in Israel, they have prohibited gatherings of anywhere more than 10 people. Imagine that, not being able to see or get lab tester. Oh, Lucas, goodness. Well, I hope you're okay, sir. I really hope that you didn't get anything. And if you did get it, I hope that you are in good physical condition. I hope that you'll get through whatever symptoms you may end up having, and I hope it doesn't really happen to you, but I hope everything will be all right. Yeah, I hope you're all right, man. And if you're watching, I guess you play poker. What's your favorite game to play? Let me know. Do you like playing online? Do you like playing live? Do you like the mixed games? Or are you a straight, no-limit, hold'em kind of guy? What do you do when you're not doing lab testing? Or are you, oh, maybe you study in the lab. I like making corny jokes. I'm big into puns. You've all been warned. And if the only reason I get this many viewers is for the puns, great. There are a lot of cases here. Oh, you're in Washington State. Yeah, I heard there was a lot of stuff there when things began. I believe, you know, Boeing, Microsoft, the big companies there. They said everyone work from home. Yeah, it's a crazy thing. I mean, this is really unprecedented, and you know, this is the kind of thing that very strangely where life imitates art. You know, you've seen the movie Contagion. You've seen the movie Outbreak. You know, where do we get our mixed fix online? Yori, great question. Tim Duckworth has it for you. Tramstop on Twitter. He has put together a home game online on PokerStars. What you need to do is it's a $500 buy-in, so to speak. It's 10 different tournaments that take place. I'm pretty sure they're mixed games tournaments. Look for him, and you can see there's like a whole big document that he put together. I think it's called, I forget what it's called. Let me see. I can look for it for you. But yeah, basically look for Tramstop on Twitter. And he's got all the details there for you. And I think you can get your mixed fix over there and get those reps in for hopefully a summer that will get to be salvaged. I am a 100% no-limit MTT player unless there's a mixed game going. Well, yeah. Oh, good. If you didn't know about it, Yori, glad to help you. Matt, if that's the exception, then you are a all-round poker player. Lucas, my favorite game is cards. Good answer. That was on our survey of the top 100 answers given. I won't tell you where it landed on the survey. So yeah, Yori, go ahead and sign up. I kind of am tempted to sign up for that sort of thing. Not that I don't, $500 I could handle that sort of thing. I just don't know and I got 3 kids, and I think he said it starts at 6 p.m. Eastern, right? Which is like right now, I think it's 3 a.m. Pacific. Sorry, 6 a.m. Pacific, which is 3 a.m. Israel time. So yeah, I mean, I may stay up sometimes until 3 a.m. Israel time, but that's not when I'm going to go ahead and start a mixed game tournament, as much fun as I know that would be. Got mentioned in a comment. Let's just see. Oh, look at that. Hey, Robin. Yes, not me, not me. Okay, look at that. Why don't these comments appear on the multi-stream IO? Interesting. Okay, Shirley. Here we go. Okay, so I got some more comments here from Facebook Live. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Sorry for only noticing right now. View previous comments. Earl, you mean me? Yes, hi, Earl. Let's say hi to everybody. Oh, my goodness, I'm half an hour delayed on this. I got to have my comments open here. So on Facebook Live, for some reason, it's not showing up on the track. 11-year Marine, thank you very much for your service, Lucas. Sincerely appreciate it. Earl, yes, thank you very, very, very much. You did a fantastic job putting that article together, the Great Tipping Survey of 2020. Thank you. Sincerely appreciate it. Dimitri, how you doing? Yes, I am a little bit bored. But I really did plan. You look at my Twitter timeline at Card Player Life. Please go ahead and follow me. I did say that I may do this today, and I said, hey, what better time? I like hearing my own voice. I like being in front of the camera, and if my wife is watching, she knows that too. Matt, WSOP hoodie on. Hey, we're hoodie twins. Very cool. Earl, circuit events are closed. WPT shut down. Once we get info on the Kentucky Derby, we'll learn about the interesting. Illinois is closing all restaurants. Yeah, all of our restaurants, the malls, everything is closed. You can still order takeout or they can deliver. Coachella shut down. There's many international events. XFL, NBA, MLB, you guys know this stuff. You're following the news just like I am. Robin, they talk about postponing WSOP. I'm not 100% sure. The state should all allow online poker. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if they could go ahead and flip a switch? Yeah, people have been saying this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to respond to that part now. It's not like if the federal government got together in the ideal scenario of like, hey, let's ignore this whole global pandemic. Let's talk about online poker, okay? Because that's not happening, unfortunately. As much as that would be really great, let's flip the switch. And because everyone's home, because everyone's quarantined, we're going to allow online poker right now. It's not so simple, at least as far as I know. If I'm PokerStars, if I'm 888 Poker, if I'm Unibet, if I'm Party, if I'm any of the big sites right now, could they go ahead and instantly from now till an hour from now, till a day from now, flip a switch and instantly make it go live? Maybe. I don't know. I don't work for those companies. I don't know if it's that simple. That's one technical obstacle no one seems to be talking about, but okay. Moreover, again, it's not like Congress is convening right now and saying, okay, let's allow federal. I mean, they're focused on much more important matters. So it's great. I even advocate in my op-ed about how to deal and be positive in poker during this period of time. Yes, advocate for it. Don't let people forget about it. But, our voices, I want to say, are lost in the wind, but, it's not the #1 priority. Let's just put it that way. They should cut the bracelet events in half anyway, diluting the value of the bracelet. Good comment, Earl. That's very interesting. A lot of people have opinions on that. On the one hand, yeah, diluting the value of the bracelet, but it's not like 10, 15 years ago you had as many people playing in these events as they are now. It's still very, 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 very difficult to win them, even now in this day and age. So I don't know. Mayor, shalom, ma korachi. We can do a little bit of Hebrew as well. Maybe the main event will not be on Shabbat because of coronavirus. Interesting. Yachol liot. It is possible. I don't know. Maybe this is forces grad. I can't speak to that. I know about the one god. I don't know that well about the poker gods. You never know. Interesting. EDC is being canceled. Number of reported cases doubled. Tack on a couple weeks. A lot of good comments here. Buffets, restaurants, restrooms aren't farm restrooms. I don't think they're going to ban restrooms. But interesting to mention another thing. Just like, for example, think about it. You ever been to the World Series of Poker? You have thousands of people in the pavilion room, in the Amazon room, the Brazilian room. During the breaks, I mean, my God, the hallways are insane. The lines, at least for the men, into the bathroom, and the women's, if you could find a women's bathroom, there are far fewer women there. We want to increase the number of women in the game. But the lines aren't nearly as long. The lines are insane. Can you imagine, scores of people inside these bathrooms? Yeah, we need to do more about cleanliness in general. Okay. No way they can do an online thing. Online states only 3 states can participate. Exactly, Earl. Exactly like you said. We're certainly in agreement there. And it's a pretty sad statement about poker players. They can't live without playing poker so bad that they travel against suggestions to be able to play. Sorry, Robbie. Poker players, DGAF, I know what that means, about the chips. They just want to make sure the money is clean. Boy. Robin, thank you very much for your many comments. I sincerely appreciate it. You've always been very kind to engage with everything that I put on Facebook and to share and to like and to really read it. It's nice to engage with you as a fan of the work that I do and the articles that we publish. Thank you very much. Shirley, how you doing? Nice to see you. Thought for the next few months. Let's be a little, hey Dad, hey, my dad's watching. I'm so happy. That just made me so happy. So you're the one. I see. There's one person watching. Hi, Dan. I'm just kidding. I love you very much. I miss you already, even though we spent a great Shabbat together. Shirley, what do you mean thoughts for the next few months? Let's refresh some more comments here. Hold on. There we go. Sorry, hold on, everyone. Let's figure this thing out again. You do not give a hey, Jesse Fullen, do not give a fruit. Yeah, let's see that, guys. Everyone in the Facebook Live comments. I want to see some comments everywhere, but let's see. What do you think DGAF means? Jesse Fullen says does not give a fruitcake, does not give a frittata. Maybe it's do not give a fertita for those who own the casinos, the palms. Earl, thank you very much for joining. I see that you've gone. I appreciate it. Thanks. Weirdly enough, one of the biggest pool events of the year is still going full speed ahead right now in the Rio. As far as I know, when pool events are set up, I guess the Marconi Cup, I think it's called. Hey, bro, Game Changers. What's up? Kelly Keller, the Kelster Mania. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Thanks for watching. Pool, there's plenty of room. I mean, you can't really exactly compare direct apples-to-apples comparison of pool to 9 people sitting around poker tables. It's much more densely packed in a poker room. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at this point, I think there really shouldn't be anything going on in the immediate future. And then just like, you know, if you ever seen like in the movies when a blackout happens, one block at a time, you know, blacks out. I think that's the way the lights are going to be turned back on as well. Slowly, you know, we say in Hebrew, "B'adraga." You know, one little bit at a time, one sport at a time, things are going to get back to normal. And that's also going to be a challenge. You know, this sort of thing, again, has never really happened, not to this degree. So yeah, we'll see. Every event, every federation, every company has to decide on its own what makes sense in terms of restarting, how long the delay is going to be, or the postponements or the cancellations are going to be. So Shirley, what do you mean about the next few months? What do you want to know? I've got thoughts about everything, as you know. Marty Straczynski, I'm familiar with you with that name. Nice to see you on this beautiful Sunday. How you doing, buddy? My brother. I love you, Marty. Thank you very much for watching. For those working from home, I know that feeling for the last 3 years, and stuck at home with your kids who are not in school, play for candy or cookies. Well, that's the question. Do you want to be teaching poker to your children? Some would say, sure, what's the harm in that? I know my dad taught me. If you're still watching, Dad, I appreciate that. Look what happened. Isn't that great? And there are those who would say, don't teach poker to your children. Or maybe it depends how old the children are. If you're playing for candy or for cookies, maybe that's not as big of a deal. But you can also teach some very nice life lessons. Over the many years, you know, the decade of cardplayerlifestyle.com, we've done a lot of instructional and strategy articles. And there's a lot, obviously, that you can learn from the game of poker. Yeah, so there's that. So anyway, Marty, you teach them young. Yeah, we'll try. What else is going on here? Who else is watching? This is so interesting. I've been talking a lot. Let's hear some more questions. There's some, you know, when I publish an article, again, we published an article called "To Tip or Not to Tip," written by Earl Burton, the Great Poker Tipping Survey of 2020, right? Oriano, hey, nice emojis, whatever those are. How you doing? Thanks for checking in. What was I going to say, right? Right. You get, when I publish an article, whether I write it or someone else like Earl or any of my other great contributors write an article, I do a lot of social media posting. I don't have the platform of a Phil Hellmuth, of a Daniel Negreanu that, you know, hundreds of thousands of people see the stuff right away. I got to be very aggressive and try to put the article, link to the article where people are. So I put it in a number of Facebook groups. And you get some interesting comments sometimes. You know, maybe it's people who just read the headline, such as clearly this person, Daniel Brown. I don't know if you're watching, but on one of the pages that I put in one of the Facebook groups, to tip or not to tip, the Great Poker Tipping Survey. So his comment is, Only a real POS, we know what that stands for, would dine at a restaurant and not tip the waitstaff. And what about valets, bartenders? Dealers are also in that same category of hospitality service industry job. Of course, I agree with you. Why do you got to start talking about POSs? Did you read the article? Basically, everyone said, yes, you have to tip. You know, to tip or not to tip is a play on to be or not to be from Hamlet. You know, that is the question, whether to, I can do the soliloquy if you really need to, or most of it. Wouldn't that be a challenge? Anyone want to see if I could do the Hamlet soliloquy? I remember learning it in 11th or 12th grade. Anyway, so yeah, of course, we all tip. Bravo. Thank you. Appreciate it. We all tip. When you see an article on a Facebook group, read it. Don't just comment. Yes, you need to do a little bit of clickbait. Try to come up with a good, catchy title. But the point is that you click on it and read it. Why would you say only a real POS would dine and not tip the waitstaff? Of course. There's pretty much nobody of the dozens of people we surveyed and whose opinions we put forth in that article. Again, thank you very much, Earl, for doing the hard work there. Who said, no, I don't tip? You know, the question is how much and to what extent. If you're winning $100,000, are you still supposed to tip $5,000? That's a lot of money, $5,000. Anyway, so just a little bit of a mini rant on people who comment without necessarily reading the article. Yeah, there's that. Where's my live link again? Here, what else are people commenting? Yvonne, Yvonne Monte Alegre. Point of sale. Oh, here. So many great comments here. Thank you very much. Okay. So who do I go? Okay, first, hi, Yvonne Monte Alegre. Nice to see you in Malta. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. And my heart breaks for you as well that you had to cancel and postpone some events. It's hard, but we're all in this together. Shirley, I'm glad you're okay. I understand you're stressed out. A lot of people are stressed out at this time for a whole variety of reasons. I know you're trying to get out and get home. You know, people who are live reporters who are traveling all the time, all of a sudden to basically be told, okay, all the stuff that you do for a living, we're pulling the plug right now. It's not easy. It's not easy, and you know, I really do empathize with that situation. If you are in the poker industry, if you have any sort of work that you have available that you could give to people, there are certainly people who could use it. Specifically in the live reporting realm, I know Yori, who had commented earlier, works for Poker News, has been putting it out there of like, hey, maybe we've got some other content that needs publishing. All the live reporters out there, like you, Shirley, I think there's some work out there for you. I hope. So look for the helpers. I think that's the phrase. And if if you're looking for additional bits of work, maybe be in touch with me. Maybe I can find something, whether it's for my own work that I need to get done, or I know people who are looking for it. Help people out. This is the time where we have the chance for our best selves to shine. Yeah. Mosconi Cup, several world champions. So yeah, pool is still going on. Great. I saw a great little Facebook clip about, like those reaction clips of guys watching, football touchdowns and NHL goals and basketball three-pointers and dunks and stuff, how they were reacting to good people to always wearing gloves, or is that snooker only? Like I said, we all doing any sort of real big gatherings. Happy that that's Italy quarantines an entire nation. Stuff. But long term, it's a short term pain. Be experiencing of normalcy, not gaining weight, sit all day, just physical exercise as well. We've got kids to enter, maybe they're babies, maybe there are a lot of challenges that we're all facing right now. We've got to face some delayed abbreviation for DGA. POS point of sale, absolutely. That's exactly. Um, no, it had to be done. I agree. Sorry. Yori with art. Yeah, thanks, man. Really, there's a reason I embedded what you had written into that article that I wrote, the op-ed about poker positivity. There's a lot of people who are trying to do good. I saw Brent Hanks, a commentator, he's a jack of all trades, meme creator, whatever you want to call it, extraordinaire, or gift creator. He's like, yeah, go ahead and donate to, I forget what it was, but to Three Square, I think it's called, in Nevada. If you have extra food or money or whatever it is, look for, there are people who need help. If you have the ability to help, do so. You see these NBA players who are, out of the goodness of their heart, they're doing well for themselves. They're making a lot of money. So yeah, they'll go ahead and pay the salaries of all the arena employees because all the arenas are closed for the next month. You have teams stepping up to do the same. You have wealthy corporations who are, realizing, yeah, this is the time to act in a good way and do good things for people. So we got a little off track from the poker, but and again, I'm trying to sort of respond to each and every one of you. I want to engage. I'm a little bit new to the multi-stream and multi-different, we've got Periscope going, we've got Facebook, we've got Twitch Poker. That site, twitch.tv/poker. First time I think we've ever streamed there, at least first time I've ever streamed there, first time that any stream has gone live there in a very long time. So yeah, lots of places where this can be found. I hope you're enjoying it. Time for me to take a little bit of a drink. While just a regular Sprite Zero, l'chaim. I'll make a bracha. Anyone out there, you can say Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shekol niyeh bidvaro. That is a blessing we say on liquids. But before you drink it, not every single time you take a sip, but there's an idea of that you shouldn't be enjoying from this world without making a blessing on it. And that's a very deep idea. It's rooted in all my actions. When you want to eat, for example, this gigantic bowl of popcorn that I haven't touched, you also say a blessing, a different blessing, because it's a different category, food, drink. I don't think I'm going to finish all this popcorn. Maybe. Again, this is a test stream. I'm trying. I know I'm going to do better. I'm already learning some things I should be doing better for next time. But I just wanted to sort of test it out and see if I could do a multi, what's it called, Restream.io. If anyone has experience doing this sort of thing or wants to help me run it in the future or something like that, let me know. Yeah, again, I've been talking, I don't know how long I've been going for, but I could talk till I turn blue. I really can talk for a very long time. It's a blessing and a curse. Don't ask for whom it is which. My wife is laughing right now if she's watching it all. Anyway, what else do you guys want to know about? Do you guys want to know more World Series of Poker opinions, any memories, any questions about articles you may have read? Are you guys signed up to my newsletter? Maybe I got to do better at entering the chat myself. I'm not sure 100% how to do that, but putting links to all the different places where you could find me, subscribe, that sort of thing. Maybe I should hype the stream up in advance and say, oh, in an hour we're going to stream, or whatever you want to call it. Maybe I can have a guest on. You guys want to have guests or that sort of thing. There's a lot of this going on. People try different things, and this is a great opportunity. I hate to say it, but that's the silver lining to the cloud in a way of this sort of thing of people try different things. People try things they haven't necessarily tried before. I know there's a project I've sort of, I don't want to say been putting off, but I always have a lot going on. Maybe I'll have time to get to it now. Again, attack this thing head on. Be positive about it. Try to get yourself to be or remain productive. I guess I should express very much a lot of public gratitude for the ability to not really have what I do affected too much, because I run a digital business on cardplayerlifestyle.com, and all of the various activities I do, they're very digitally oriented, and pretty much everything that's online right now as far as poker is booming, thriving, is experiencing a bump, a spike, whatever you want to call it. And I think that's, I'm very lucky to be in that sort of situation, very grateful. At the same time, I still have challenges, certain things, maybe people aren't so quick to do any sort of advertising right now. Keeping, cards close to the vest and, wait to see how the storm blows over. If we've got money, it's a normal reaction, I suppose. When you've got a lot of variance and uncertainty, you don't want to necessarily just go and spend. So that is possibly a way I could be affected. Obviously, I got to work from home, and my kids are not in school, so we've got to entertain them, keep them busy. And, I always say family first. You got to really stick true to that. Yeah, sure, I've got to get work done, and people need to be entertained. The content beast needs to be fed, whether it's me or, again, my wonderful contributing writers. Thank you all very much for helping me create what cardplayerlifestyle.com is. Yeah, so that has to happen, but there's always a time and a place, and family's got to be taken care of first. I'll tell you what I did today with my kids. We did some really, really great stuff, and I could recommend it. And again, there's a plethora. You're being inundated with ideas of what to do when you've got kids at home and how to entertain them. We had a virtual paint party for my daughter's bat mitzvah. We had hired someone here locally in Israel to come, and she had like 50 canvases, and all the girls were painting according to her instructions. It was really cool. Her name is Nina Brenner. She did a fantastic job today just doing a free live stream of this paint party, and I saw my kids were there, all three of them, and they were set up looking and listening to her instructions, and they just painted for an hour. It was a phenomenal creative activity, and got really three beautiful, wonderful, talented kids who did that. After that, we all prayed together. Maybe it was before that we prayed together. The typical morning prayers that we do. I took the kids out for some physical activity. We threw the football around and, taught my youngest how to bike ride, which was awesome. She really, for today, like watching your kid ride a bike for the first time. And then I work from home, and I see my kids a lot compared to people who do the commute, well, like I used to for 15 years or 13 and a half years, whatever it may be. I've been self-employed and independent for a little over 3 years now. March 7th, I believe, was the date, 3-year anniversary of going full-time self-employed for cardplayerlifestyle.com. So yeah, I see them a lot, but not necessarily during the day. I've never seen my children pray, which was a very interesting, cool thing. Let's see if there are more comments on Facebook Live. Not yet. Even on the Sabbath, we can't do bike riding really too much. So there are certain things that I'm able to do with them, and I'm just enjoying that opportunity. And I said, well, usually I try to get to work in the morning. Doesn't always work. I said, you know what, fine. My wife, Miriam, amazing person, love her very much. She's going to have the morning. She'll work. I'll take care of the kids. And that's basically what we did. Got them lunch. We made them make themselves their sandwiches for the snacks, that sort of thing. Cooking, that becomes an activity. That's something that, you get the family all involved in. We've strayed very far from poker, but this is my card player lifestyle. This is what I do on a day-to-day basis. And I told you I would be opening up about it, and happy to answer any questions if anyone has. Yeah, so that becomes an activity. And then, okay, so that's all said and done. It was like, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever in the afternoon. You get tired, running kids, running 3 kids, different schedules. My kids are 10 and 7 and a half. I'm 38, not that I'm an old grandpa or anything, but you got to keep up with it. 8, and I was like, I want to take a nap. So I did, which is great. And, so you get to working from home, certain things you can allow yourself to do. So I napped for about an hour, but that gave me the wherewithal and the stamina to, when I woke up, okay, we sent one kid to a friend, or we had a couple friends come over here, that sort of thing, and just got to get to work. And now, again, it's like, 11:20 at night here in Israel. Not that I consider this work. I do work, but I love what I do. So, it's not really work for me. I really legitimately do enjoy it. But sometimes that's what it takes. You got to just adjust your schedule. Like I always say, in poker, you don't always get dealt the cards that you want. You got to play the cards you have, and you got to play them intelligently. And the world has been dealt a really crappy hand now. But sometimes you got to fold. You got to know when to fold them. Sometimes you can pick your spots and make something out of it. But you got to be proactive. You can't just lie down and let this thing beat you into submission of panic, of paranoia, of listlessness. And yeah, I know we're very early on. People are going to be for the next month not knowing what to do with themselves. but you know, you got to attack it head on. You got to get used to good habits right away. You always want to start the new year off with good positive resolutions and doing them. I would hope that even if you make a New Year's resolution and don't keep to it, maybe not from day one, you at least start trying from day one. And I think, there's a lot of good potential in possibly helping one another. That's one of the reasons I'm doing a stream like this, whether people are watching or not, of helping each other out, of encouraging each other. In a good way, So I think I'm going to wind this one down. I think this is a good attempt, good for me to get a few things off my chest. Maybe people will rewatch it. Maybe some comments will come later. If you did manage to make it the way through, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Attention is the hardest thing to get these days. The world's most rare and sought after currency is people's attention. So I'm grateful for yours, however long you tuned in for, whether for the full hour or for a couple minutes or just to say hi. I appreciate it sincerely. Maybe I'll go on a little bit more if there's any chat, if there's any questions, if anyone wants to engage with me, give me some tips or anything like that. But yeah, it's been nice, talking and seeing names of people who I enjoy their company with. Enjoy speaking with. So thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to end this off now. I'm going to encourage you to visit cardplayerlifestyle.com. I am going to do this again. I don't know exactly when, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to try to hype it up in advance. I'm going to be more well-versed and learn from this 1 hour or whatever experience of having trouble. Last call to action here, as they say in the biz. Check out our latest article written by Earl Burton. I talked about a bunch over this live stream. It's called "To Tip or Not to Tip." Not that is the question. Of course, we know you're supposed to tip, but to tip or not to tip, the Great Poker Tipping Survey of 2020. Latest article out on cardplayerlifestyle.com. And my pinned tweet, if you see that, again, follow me at cardplayerlife. My pinned tweet is the op-ed that I wrote. I spent all day writing it. It's something I was very passionate about. And that was a very long ending. I'm sorry about that. But of seeing so much doom and gloom, it got me. It's hard. It was hard for all of us. We're all struggling in a certain way, and I get it. It's normal. I'm no psychiatrist or psychologist in that respect. It's normal. But we can't allow that to be the default, the negative, the doom and gloom. There's a lot of ways to maintain positivity. I've talked about a lot of them during this stream. And I listed the top 10. We call it the top 10 prescriptions for poker positivity in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic. That was an important article to me. And that's the reason, there's a reason it's my pinned tweet. I want to try always to use whatever platform I have, however big or small, to spread positivity. And if you do read it and check it out and enjoy it and agree with anything I have to say, please do share it. Maybe I shouldn't end off just yet. I'm seeing other things I got to say. I really do have pent up, there's a lot of feelings I have lots of times when I scroll through my social media and media feeds, and sometimes I bite my tongue of things I want to react to, but don't. So maybe I should. Here we go. Take care, Robbie. Keep up the good work. We need more positive stuff. Thanks, Yvonne. Appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Zach Plotzker. Oh, man, that's a name I haven't seen in a very long time. I miss you too, buddy. Yeah, Paul Young. I have a great story. I'm gonna tell you a story. You probably don't know about this, Zach. I hope you're still tuning in. Yeah, I miss you too, buddy. Great story about Paul Young. So Paul Young, he's in his late 60s right now, probably, or maybe mid 60s, early 60s. He is a gentleman who used to teach at the elementary school, Hill Hebrew Academy, that I went to in Los Angeles. He taught sports. He left the school and opened up a summer camp. And Paul Young is, to me, synonymous with summer camp in my summers growing up in Los Angeles. That's where I was born and raised. Wonderful, wonderful human being. And every summer, that's what you do. It was a great 8 to 3:45 program. I was a camper for many, many years. I was a counselor in training, a junior counselor, and ended up being a counselor. That was really how I spent my summers. He was an integral part of my rearing. So what's the story here? So at 16, I had my one last summer being a counselor at Paul Young Sports Camp. And that was basically my goodbye. I moved to Israel and had been here. I went back for one summer when I was 23, and Paul was very kind to have me on. And I came all the way from Israel, and it had Al Rosen. A lot of people know him. If you're from Los Angeles, he's a legendary sports coach and instructor. And he was co-director of the camp with Paul. He was visiting Israel for 3 weeks. It happens to be. And I was looking for a job. I was looking for work. It was a period of time that I had where I couldn't find a job here. And I was like, well, it's summer. Maybe, you never know. Maybe Paul's got an opening. He's like, for Straczynski, we've always got room. I love that man. He's a tremendous individual. Yeah, so we did a switcheroo, unbeknownst. Al came here to Israel for 3 weeks, and I was a counselor there for 3 weeks. And then, things thankfully improved upon my return to Israel, was able to find a job, etc. That's not the story I wanted to tell, though. So when I was 23, that happened. But a couple of years ago, I believe, some really, really crazy stuff happened. You know what? I'm going to find it. Give me 1 second. Bear with me, folks. This is the reason I brought this here. It's my list of all the articles I've ever written. Ties. Where is it? 1 second, folks. That's the one. So a couple years ago, I was in Los Angeles for the summer again. I went actually to Las Vegas to work at the World Series of Poker. And over the Sabbath, I went to Los Angeles to visit my thousands of kids. Big Al, Mr. Z, Mr. Z, Arthur Zairi. Sound off 1, 2. Sound. Yeah, Zach. That's Paul Young for you. Good memories. I don't know why these are not popping up in my feed. Anyway, so yeah, I was at the World Series of Poker, and I was working, and I didn't want to spend the Sabbath alone. I decided I'll drive over to Los Angeles, 4.5-hour drive. And spend the Sabbath with my aunt and uncle, Aunt Lydia and Uncle Saul, and my cousins there. It was great. And Saturday night, I said, "Hey, let's give it a shot. Let's go out to the Commerce, right? Biggest poker room in the world." And I'm there, just sort of walking around, the sea of poker players. Imagine the World Series cash games all year round. The Commerce, if you've never been there. It's the most amazing poker room in the world. And even that is shut down now for the coronavirus. I can't believe I wound it down. Sorry. I guess that's just how it happens with streaming. As people come in, they bring up memories and things you want to talk about. So yeah, I'm there, and I hear a voice. I was like, it can't be. And I turn to my right, and it's Paul Young. Paul Young, who was the director of the camp all those years, in the Commerce Casino. I came to play poker, and this is a totally new life that I have now. And I'm professional and doing everything in the poker industry, and it was a very weird meeting of the worlds. And I look, I'm like, Paul? He was talking to someone else. Oh, no, I didn't even say, I don't do that. Sorry, I always maintain, tremendous respect. I never called him Paul to his face. I always called him Coach. And anyone who's ever been in this camp with counselor, it's Coach. Always been Coach. And if I saw him today, I'd be, how you doing, Coach? He was there. And he was like, Robbie Straczynski. Oh, he had a very distinctive voice. I can't do the imitation. And from that point, we just basically sat and talked for like an hour. And he said he comes and plays. I think he lives now in Marina Del Rey or something, in Southern California. And he comes and plays at Commerce every so often. I don't remember what games he plays. Maybe it's the 16. He says he does pay for himself over there and hold his own. And we talked poker, and I gave him one of these, badges, and I was like, "This is my site. This is what I do, Coach. I grew up. I'm not a little kid anymore, but it was an amazing opportunity. I've never seen Coach outside of camp, outside of that context, and here he was in my world, so to speak, the poker world, and I had an opportunity to talk poker and talk life with him. I wrote an article about it. I got back from the casino, and I stayed up literally right after that and wrote this article. The article is called "The Poker Ties That Bind." I wrote that. This is June 11th, 2017. The Poker Ties That Bind. You can look for that. Google it, and there's a picture, Zach, if you're still watching, of me and Coach standing there in the Commerce Casino. at the end of our 1 hour powwow. Crazy story, huh? Crazy, crazy story. So yeah, that was a really amazing happening. I'm grateful that that happened. I'm grateful that I had the chance. You know, I didn't have his email address. I still remember the old phone number. I'm not going to say it here, obviously. I still remember his old phone number, but it's not the phone number anymore. Back when he used to live in Hancock Park area. But you know, and we're not really in touch. But to have that type of opportunity to say thank you to someone who has influenced your childhood to such a degree and given you so many amazing memories is a wonderful thing. And to do so in a poker room, you know, what's better than that than to write an article about it, take a picture that you remember for life, and have that story. It's just it's a beautiful thing. Anyone else out there wants to hear some more stories? We can do a little bit more before I go if you're interested, or I can try to wrap it up, I guess, for a second time. I need gold memories. Thanks, Zach. Thanks for all the comments. I appreciate it, and it's my pleasure. I'm happy that... go ahead, check out that article, The Poker Ties That Bind. I think I tell the story better. As much as I like talking in general, talking to the camera, and hearing my own voice, I do believe that I write better than I talk, and that was an article where my heart certainly poured forth. So I expect you to go and visit cardplayerlifestyle.com right now. Yeah, other things, well, of course, I can't have a stream without promoting this great book, which I just so happen to have right here. The Pulling the Trigger, it's the autobiography of Poker Pro, Eli Elezra. We know him, the 4-time gold bracelet winner at the World Series of Poker. I translated this book from Hebrew into English. Sorry, guys, gotta promote. Promote. That's what you gotta do. Here, you can see on the bottom, it says there, written by Matan Krakow and Yoav Ronell, translated by Robbie Straczynski. That's me. So yeah, translated that book. You can find that on Amazon. I've got a link in my Twitter profile. You can just click that and it takes you directly to where you can go ahead and buy the book. This is a time where we read more books in general, or we order more stuff from Amazon in general. What a great time. Why not go visit Amazon right now and buy Eli Elezra's autobiography? I know he'd appreciate it. I'd certainly appreciate it. It's a great story. I mean, you don't need me to tell you about Eli's story, but I'm happy to. If you have any questions about him, go ahead and let me know in the chat. Happy to talk about that, about the process of writing and translating the book. But maybe we can save that for the next stream. So let me just check one more time if there are more questions, comments, ideas, suggestions. Oh, look at this. Wow. Oh, thanks, everybody. That's very cool. For tuning in. Thanks for retweeting, everyone who's done that. Listen, Rob. Michael Barain. Baran? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I'm not sure if you're Irish or Australian, by the way. If you see this, let me know. Listen, Rob, the COVID-19 has just closed all the bars in Ireland. Not even St. Patrick could have done that. So if we, so you must be Irish. So if we can do it, so can the rest of the world. Take care of ourselves and of each other. This will pass. Let's all work together. I agree. As we say in Hebrew, Kol milah b'sela. Every word should be written in stone. You're 100% correct. Yeah, let's see one more scroll through of the comments. Zach, regards to you as well, and yours. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's good to at least virtually interact with you again. That's one of the reasons I did this. I miss people. I guess it would be most appropriate, no more plugs or marketing or calls to action. It would be most appropriate to end off with an interesting thought that I heard on Shabbat from the rabbi's sermon, and that I've seen echoed elsewhere in other sermons and articles in Jewish literature. Social distancing. If there was a way to wager on this, I would wager that social distancing is going to be the word of the year that Webster's chooses. That's a big thing to do. Humans, I believe, are a social race by nature. That's at least part of why I love live poker. I mean, online I get it's important, it's great, and it's very nice, but it's not the same as live poker. It doesn't have that feel. Just like this live stream that I'm doing with all you guys, it's wonderful, it's fun. There's so many positives to it. I really enjoy it. I hope you've been enjoying it. A lot of great things about it, and enables us to stay in touch, but it's not the same as seeing you all in person, opportunity to pound, to give a bro hug or just a handshake, a hi, a pat on the back. It's not the same. And when authorities are rightly calling, medically speaking, for social distancing to not spread this virus any further than it already has spread, that is the most important thing to do. However, we shouldn't allow ourselves to be socially distanced and socially distant from one another. We need to keep doing these things. And one of the beauties of the world that we live in 2020 is all of these digital communications platforms that we have at our disposal to help us stay in touch with each other, engage with one another, and not using marketing buzzwords, but like really, and for true, don't be alone. If you're single, that much more so. If you've got a family, you've got your support network, you've got your friends, fine. But whatever extent possible, hunker down and sure, you're going to be in your four walls, quarantined or whatever it may be. But if there's anything that I can encourage you to do, don't be socially distant. Reach out. One thing I did before the Sabbath is, 15 people I went on WhatsApp that I haven't interacted with in a long time. And I just wish them a nice, peaceful weekend and a Shabbat Shalom because I miss them. And there's no reason not to. There's no reason not to pick up the phone and say hi. There's no reason not to do these sorts of things. Again, people are competing for your attention, but that's not why you should do it. You should just do it to stay in touch with people because, if you've got friends, this is the time to let them know, hey, thanks, I appreciate you. Or, hey, I need help. I need to not feel lonely right now. So do that. Maintain social distancing, but don't be socially distant from one another. And I think with that, I'm going to leave it off. Again, thanks to everyone tuning in. The second wrap up, I guess, but a real wrap up of this. Thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. I'm going to do this again. I don't know when. I'm going to do it differently. Again, I'm going to hype it up, and maybe you guys, if you enjoyed this, you can tune in the next time as well. Maybe come prepared with more questions. We can do a proper Q&A. Ask me anything. I will maybe get some help in running all of the different platforms simultaneously so I don't have to look at 17 different devices at the same time. But thank you very much for joining me, for keeping me company. I know when I leave the room, I'm going to say, that was fun. I really, it's been good to interact and talk with all you friends. Thank you. Stay safe, everyone. And we'll be in touch. I will wish you a Shavua Tov. It means good week because the week begins after the Sabbath. Sunday is not the end of our week. It's the beginning. It's Yom Rishon, we say in Hebrew, the first day of the week. So a good week to everybody. A good weekend, of course, to those observing the weekend. And look out for each other. Cheers.